Welcome to EVE Online, I'm Major Freak. Well, actually, EVE Singularity. I've got the graphics turned up, uncharacteristically of me to do that, but I thought I'd have fun with this one. Okay, I've just bought an Apostle. It's 3 jumps from my staging area, from Nazil, and I want to get it home safely. And I've always jumped freighters and carries and dreadnoughts to this spot, combat dock. It's a cool looking spot, and I don't get a lot of bumping off the structure when I do that. This sucker is huge, and it's getting bumped a lot because, you know, it's what happens is when you cyno'd something, and it's going to jump to you at about 5 clicks away, 4.5, 5 clicks away. It's not, when you look at it, it's not, I think it's 5.5 kilometers, or 6, I think. But when you click on the middle of something and you look at it, that's not from, it's counterintuitive. It's not from the center mass where you've just clicked. It's actually from the hitbox. And if you think about it, that makes total sense. It's just, sometimes when you, maybe it's just me, but it's 67 from the hitbox. And I've been playing this game almost 2 decades. It's just, I constantly think, oh, from the middle. No, it's not. And when you deal with huge things, like, say, asteroids and stuff, it's really important to remember that it's about yay for bumping, if it's going to bump into the structure or anything like that. And especially when you think about it, when you're trying to maneuver around icicles to bump orcas, if you're too close, it looks like you're going to miss the icicle as you pass it, but you actually hit it and get bounced and miss your target because of it. That's the same thing, and it's hard to tell, especially with weird configurations. This is almost like a icicle. Weird configurations of where exactly the hitbox is. And I'm assuming the hitbox is going to be from here out to here, like that. Just a big orb. I just imagine it's just a big orb. Probably the simplest way they do hitboxes, as any MOG will, any MOG will do. Especially a space sim. Okay, so this location, I realized after belatedly, I tried to put it down here because it looked cool and down, and it was really neat, and I always wanted to put something here or in here, but if you put something right here, it won't protect against bumping. In fact, if you try to get your ship close in to this, it won't let you. You can get, say, about here, and it'll prevent you from getting any closer into the nooks and crannies of the station, and that's for any station. And there's a min matter undock port, and this port is totally flyable through. You can totally fly right through here. So if you thought, oh, I'll get in the middle of this thing and nobody will get me because they bounce off the glass, it's not true. It's just, they're just gonna fly right through it. Right here, I thought, okay, I'll put it right here, but the bumping potential is just, and you could fly through here, bump it that way. Sorry, you could fly here and bounce it through there, and if you hit something, it'll go like 40 clicks in the first bump if you've got a really heavy ship with plates and everything. But if you have a Higgs rig, it'll go about 33 kilometers if you've got, the cyno'd active. It'll go further if you don't, because the cyno'd really cuts down on the velocity of a ship. So this is a Higgs rig plated. I tried a MWD. It's counterproductive. It actually, if a MWD active ship, it'll add mass, but when it gets bumped, even if it's trying to approach a location, if it gets bumped in a certain direction when it's MWD on, it goes, wee, I want to go in that direction, even though it's supposed to, even though you're approaching this location right here, you know, even if you've got this freaking bookmark and you're approaching that freaking bookmark, it'll want to go in that freaking direction, and it's not going to stop for anything. It's like, even if you've got your sinusoidal, it's trying to approach this location. If you get bumped in, say, that direction, your MWD will go wee, and you go like at least 37 kilometers away, which is, wait, without the MWD, I only go 33. It's like, damn it. So that did not work, unfortunately. So anti-bumping with the MWD to add mass, to lower, it's not, it's just, it has the opposite effect, actually, unfortunately. Yeah, so that is my iteration of this one. I'll fire this up. I got on this rant. That's it. This avatar, I got on the monocle rant. Oh boy. I had to end that prior video. Take 2. This is take 3. Yeah, I'd forgotten where I started. I was like, why did I start ranting? Oh, right. So, yeah, this is a great fit. I love it. It's tested. I had thermal resist here, but I think getting bumped is probably going to be my biggest danger these days. I think people are wise to, they want to get you off the dot ring, and since you're stable and not moving, they're going to bump you easily. They're probably not going to be tailor fit for going like 7K per second. So with a Higgs rig and a plate, they'll have a tough time bumping you within that 5 minutes. And you've got a repping going and all that stuff. Hopefully you have enough time to give them only, say, a minute or 2 to try to do something. I tried bumping an apostle. Holy crap, I was thinking, well, maybe for travel I'll put in a Higgs rig on the apostle. But when I tried bumping this sucker, you go like, with a 7K meters per second, you go 300 meters per second and then slowing rapidly. So you are not going to get bumped out of range if you undock and park yourself right here. You know, dock up and undock and park yourself right here. It's not going to work. So since I've belabored the point, let's buy, I think, my 8th apostle. Get this going, and I'll show you how to do it. I've learned this. My old alliance leader said, don't undock unless you get your support skills up high, and I think he said 5. I've never listened to that. 4 is good, right? And he said, when you undock, what you're supposed to do is hit stop. Because if you hit stop, that's the only real action you can do that still gives you invulnerability. I think 30-second invulnerability, or is it 60? I think it's 60 seconds on invulnerability. We'll test that if I can. I try to jump quickly as possible. He says hit stop and then jump. Hit stop, then jump. And you got your isotopes. Always check your... Don't. Always check your fuel bay before you take off. Both for your Cyno ship and the ship being Cyno. Make sure you got the right type of fuel in too. That's another mistake. Alright. So we're in fleet. Make sure you're in the right fleet. And what I do is I get in position, I undock my capital, then I light the cyno, then I do the stop jump. And that's how you do it. But always check you're in fleet. You got fuel on both ships. Bam, done. So let's open this. And check. And light. And hit stop. Ship stopping. You got 30 seconds. Sorry, my bad. I think it's 60 seconds when you jump into a new system. And I'm supposed to do this right away, not blab my face off. Alright, so this, hopefully it'll spawn here, but it's probably going to spawn here. I won't be able to show you exactly. Woohoo! Awesome. So that's 5.4 to the hitbox, not 5.4 to right here. If you go right here, that's 9 kilometers, okay? Actually, wait, that's 9 kilometers right there. And, oh, it looks like 8 kilometers. So 8 kilometers, it has decided to spawn 8 kilometers that away. And I think it likes to spawn anything at 5.5 kilometers away from, or 5 kilometers away from this. So I believe that the distance from that point to the hitbox of this ship is 5 kilometers. Okay. So that is 1 kilometer, about 1 kilometer there. I believe that is exactly 5, the hitbox of this ship is exactly 5 kilometers from the cyno'd field. So that means, if you do the math, that means that this is 4, it's actually 8 kilometers in diameter for the hitbox, if you think about it. So if it goes 8 kilometers, hitbox, plus 5, that's 13. Doesn't quite make any sense, does it? No, let's... Give me a sec here. Let's get this. I hate to think that that hitbox is that freaking big. You know? I mean, am I cutting it so close? If it's spawned right there, would it have bumped off? You know? I mean, admittedly, not very far. It might have bumped a little bit. It's not going to go pshing. They used to. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I want to prevent myself from getting too far away, like, 16 kilometers. It would just, because I'm 30 here, 37 from the bottom of the station. That's the 0 dock ring. That's the dock ring for there. And the dock ring is about here-ish, 35 kilometers away. Maybe even 40, but yeah. Yeah, I used to, my second option, either there or here, I used to like this option, but then I discovered, well, all you have to be pushed is about 20 clicks underneath you and you're outside the station. So I prefer right here now. I think this is the perfect location. Yeah. And 5 minutes does feel like a long frickin' time. Should I go with the second option to go with anchoring a mobile sinusoidal beacon for 30 million ISK? It'll take 2 minutes to spool up, and then I can jump my ship. I don't like the idea of planning something and then just cross my fingers for 2 minutes, hoping it doesn't get blown up. And then I fail jumping. I'd rather, But yeah, 5 minutes is a long time. 2 minutes also feels like an eternity, but yeah. There you go. So I've got 2 of the pilgrims, and they're at the first jump and the second jump locations. Yeah. I mean, sorry, they're not at the first jump. The first jump would be where I started from. So the second jump location is where my apostle will first jump to, and then it'll jump out from there to the third, the second location that I'm jumping to. Beyond this, I suck at this. I'm going 1, 2, 3 jumps. Yeah, I've got 2 pilgrims at the midpoints, and then yay, midpoint. I remembered a word. And then I don't have a ship at my home station. I just assume by that time I'll be able to get one of my first pilgrim back home for that jump, assuming I was able to keep it alive. And the methodology for that is well, it's not going to be normal because you're going to be a visitor to the system, and people are going to go, oh, that's new, I wonder who he is. But if you scout, get your location early, and then just log off or go somewhere else in the system and go around adjacent systems and park at a different system than the one you're going to jump into, it lowers the suspicion level that they can figure out what you're doing. And that's what I've done in both systems. Got my location, happy with it, move elsewhere, then I'll just move in the system when I need to and casually light the cyno. Yeah, see, people, when you break routine, as in go into a new system, people are curious. But if you make it kind of a normal that you're there for a little bit, then they lose interest. And that's the problem with people. They try to do something right away, and because you've piqued people's interest just out of normal human curiosity, and they'll be interested in what you're doing. But if you just act like you're tooling around for a couple of days or a day, they'll kind of lose interest. And when you appear, they'll go, oh, he's going to do the same thing, and you light a cyno. It's not like people are going to go, oh, pay attention right away. They might pay attention by a byproduct of just exiting station or doing something. It's like a side product of finding out, but it's not going to be right away going, what's this guy up to, Well, they might still think that, and I'm sure what I'm doing is probably pretty much obvious if I'm seen in, like, I came around in a Falcon to scout out, so that's not exactly gonna trip people's automatic assumption I'm cynoing. But yeah, you just try to act normal. Nothing to see here. Yeah, this thing's a freaking whale. I don't know how I'm gonna have to redo my CynoSpots, not so I don't get bumped a million meters per second when I fly off the station. But I've got a Caldera Jita like station to go to first, so that's going to be a piece of cake. But yeah, now that I know I need a really big hit, really not 5 kilometers or 7 like I used to do. I need at least 10 in all directions. So that is going to be interesting. But I've gamed it out as best I can, and it's time to get back to killing fobs, and I need to move this puzzle first, so I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a video of it, of course. Hopefully it's not going to be a 5 billion loss, but that is risk. I love risk in this game. It just excites me. There's a lot of benefit to having a apostle. I just need to get it home as safely as possible. And I don't like losing stuff, so the thought of an hour-long cyno'd beacon is like, I don't want to take the hit. I don't like loss, but I could do that. I could risk it, and I think what I'll do is, in each system, what I'll do is I'll try to anchor a mobile cyno'd beacon here in the spot I wanted to light a cyno with my pilgrim, and see how it goes, because I know I'll lose it, but will I lose it before it can spool up? Are people going to fly right to it and blow it up, you know, to prevent me from jumping in? Or do they want somebody to jump in so they can see if they can hopefully bump the, I don't know, maybe I make a mistake and, you know, I don't know. So it'd be curious. I don't want to do it, but I think for experimental purposes, I'll set it up that way, but I'll keep my pilgrims there in case they blow up my mobile right away, and I'm like, screw this, I'll go with my pilgrims, and I'll have to delay my transit even more, but at least I'd learned a valuable lesson, whether they're useful or not. And yeah, that's my plan. And yeah, like any plan, it's gonna have some contact with the enemy, that's for sure, at some point. But if I'm really lucky, nothing will happen, and I'll just later see a kill mail for my beacon. I'm sure the like mobile depots, people want to kill them. I never, you know, when I was in low sec, I would never ever shoot a they used to be kestrels. You could have kestrels mount a cyno'd beacon, that generator, sorry, and I never killed them. It was, to me, it was cheesy to do so. Bit of Bushido, but yeah, I don't really fly in warp space, but the warp space people aren't the only ones with a little sense of honor. Yeah. Anyways, sorry, I'm diverging. Yes. Uh-oh. All right, gotta go.